Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to cover designing for startups at speed and talk a bit about the process and cover one of the clients I've worked with for the last couple of months and talk about how we've kind of engaged with them, how the process has gone, and how we've kind of optimized for speed so that the company can obviously build fast, ship their product quickly, and get it out to market, and get it in the hands of users and start growing, scaling, and making money essentially. So Perlin AI is a company from the UK. They came out of a startup accelerator. They raised about $1.1 million at a pre-seed, I believe. And essentially, they're a platform that helps automate email outreach using AI to enhance engagement, achieve kind of high reply rates, and scale sale teams' kind of efforts efficiently and more effectively. So when I connected with them, they had an MVP, obviously, but it was very basic. So this is it, as you can see on the screen now. So it's super basic. You've just got a sidebar, just a simple kind of nested kind of sidebar, a campaign screen for the different outreach campaigns that are being run, an overview screen for the campaigns showing different data on the prospects, open rates, reply rates, things like that. Then they've kind of got this stepper feature, which is kind of the steps you can add to a flow in terms of, step one, outreach to, the prospect with this email. Their AI will generate copy for these emails. And then, the next step would be like, wait a few days, then send a follow-up email. And that's kind of how they build campaigns inside the platform. So there's a few other sections, but that was pretty much the core of it. And at the time, they were obviously doing things quite hands-on with their clients. So we connected with them at Exalt Studio to, refresh the UI, uplift kind of the product as a whole, and build out new features. And overall make the product just feel like a bit more of a premium experience, and lay the foundation so that kind of Perlin AI can continue scaling and growing, acquiring more users, and finding success basically. So I'll talk a little bit about the process. So when you first sort of learn UI UX design, product design, whether it be at some sort of university, some sort of college, or some sort of online course, there's a lot of focus put on obviously the UX side of things, the research stage, whether that be things like user personas, information architecture, user journey mapping, competitive analysis, stakeholder interviews, and lots more tasks. And all of those tasks are extremely useful and valuable. But there's a time and place for these tasks. And I think a lot of startups, if they start working with you and you're spending, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, running these research tasks, for them, that's not giving them the fast value that they kind of want off the bat. They want to work with the designer to bring their ideas to life, make their product feel more premium, when it comes to attracting more investment and more users, and improve the product experience as a whole, for their users, so that their users keep coming back and keep paying for their service, basically. So essentially, the process, I kind of put together for these early stage companies who are trying to build really fast. It's very basic. It's pretty much just 3 steps. It's, step 1 is discovery and wireframing. But wireframing, sometimes the lines get blurred a bit with that, which I'll talk about in a second. But essentially it'll be discovery. So the discovery will be talking to the stakeholders. Often it's going to be, the CEO, the founder, the CTO, or, the head of product, some sort of senior person that has a lot of energy and investment in the business themselves. They have a good overview of everything. They understand what they want and where the company is going. So a lot of it will be, one-to-one talking with them and just discover the product, find out, what is it exactly doing? What is their target audience? Who are the users that they're trying to, get to join their product and pay for it? And, what does success look like for them? When it comes to hiring, a design agency, a freelancer, and what they want to get out of the engagement, essentially. So the next step would obviously be, from discovery, would be wireframing. Now, depending on the speed of this, sometimes it would be done purely in kind of grayscale, where it's kind of mid to high fidelity, but it's just, there's no colors, there's no shadows being added. It's just the core of, the layouts, the fonts that are maybe being used, the rough styling on the components and the visual language, but no fancy kind of UI. Step 2 would then be working on the high fidelity designs, bringing things to life, and creating, a sleek, functional interface. And step 3 is obviously then, organizing the project file, and handing off with them to ensure that everything is, seamless for them to build. So with Perlon, how it kind of worked is, we did some discovery. I learned a bit about the company itself, and then essentially what they wanted to see was, they wanted to see that I could design the kind of screens and the mock-ups that they were looking for, basically, the quality, the style and theme, and such. And one thing to mention is, when you're doing designs for some of these early stage companies, you want to kind of just take your ego out of the equation a little bit, and focus on their needs massively, because as a designer, you always want to obviously design something, really amazing that looks really fancy, that you can put in your portfolio, that you can share on social media. But the thing is, that approach isn't always going to be the best approach for companies that are trying to build quickly. So when I actually spoke to the CTO at Perlon AI, they actually mentioned, we're not looking for, a dribble design that's going to have all these bells and whistles and cause them some headaches when it comes to building. And I was obviously in complete alignment with that. And I said, we can create good design, and a lot of that design will come from, good layouts, good use of spacing, a nice kind of just theme, basically, good use of color, and just not overdoing it. And, you don't need to add all these bells and whistles and fancy gradients and AI generated, mid-journey graphics and stuff to, create a solid platform that a company can, start building with and start scaling, basically. So in terms of how we started, we pretty much, they wanted to see designs very quickly, so I didn't actually even properly wireframe. We just kind of jumped into high fidelity screens. So started off super basic, just dragging in random components from other projects and other ideas I've got, and just putting down some general ideas for a dashboard, messing with all kinds of stuff, different layouts, different stylings, to basically start giving them something to look at and something to kind of draw from, so they can be like, this is great, this is the kind of direction we like, let's move forward, basically. So after a lot of iterations, we kind of came to this kind of style. We've got, a sidebar, a top section, and kind of a white background viewport for all the main content basically. So in terms of a before and after, this is obviously how they kind of started. Super basic, just the sidebar and the campaign screen and some different sections, and obviously with lots of back and forth, we came to this version of the design basically. So it's a huge difference in terms of what they had originally, and this was done in a kind of 2-month process basically. So, but the styling and the actual look and feel of the product, we actually achieved that within essentially a couple of weeks of just some back and forth, some feedback rounds, exploring some different UI styles and putting down that visual language. And then once they're happy with the visual language, you've got that base laid down. We then started going through, all the different sections of their platform and, building things out piece by piece. Now, while it's not always ideal to kind of work very quickly and obviously skip some of these UX research tasks, the huge benefit to Pearlon was, as I've been designing very quickly, they've been building and shipping this very quickly as well. And while I'm still engaged with them and working with them one-to-one, we've been getting feedback from their users on things that we've designed and built and shipped. So, we've designed a particular feature for drafting some, outreach messages. Some of their users have then given some feedback saying, we can't find this button very easily. We're a bit confused on how you set this up. And they've been able to, report that back to me. And working with the CTO, I've then been able to redesign things on the fly. So within a 2-month period, we've been able to completely refresh the look and feel of their product, build tons of new features, and then throughout that process, get user feedback on what we've built and shipped, and improve on it, for the second time, basically. So, hopefully that kind of gives you a good idea of, how to approach things when companies and early stage startups that you might work with want to build and ship fast. Hopefully this gives you some insight in how you can approach that. It's not going to be ideal to slow things right down and, start this UX research process and that process. And, it's best to hit them with some value, design lots of screens for them, find that kind of visual language that they love. And then you can start that process of going back and forth with them on the different feature designs and, how to kind of, manage the engagement to, create success for them, basically. So, hope that made sense. Thanks for watching.